Hello, Zesty community. My name's Randy Puzo. I'll be your host today. Today we are going to be teasing something quite awesome, and it is the release of our marketplace. So today I'm going to go over 3 of the marketplace apps that we'll be releasing, and I'll talk about the marketplace a little bit. So this is something we've been in the works for quite some time. It's the Zesty Marketplace, and essentially the marketplace is something that we'll be able to have, well, not we be able to have. We're going to be launching with apps, modules, and extensions. So I'll talk through the 3 types now. What an app is something that can be installed inside of the Zesty Manager. We're going to show off 2 apps on this stream, which is pretty cool. Modules are things that are going to be pretty much predefined schemas, so the ability to like launch a blog or like the data set of a blog like really quickly. It could also install settings into the site. It can create snippets, stuff like Salesforce forms, things like that. Things just to like quick things to give you the edge as a developer, to like not have to build everything from scratch. And then extensions are things that literally extend the product. This could be anything from a Node SDK to a literal Chrome extension, which we're going to show off. We have fetch wrappers, we have things built around Zesty that don't necessarily live inside of Zesty. This could be like an extension to Figma, for example, to like connect Figma to Zesty. Anything that works. So extension, the idea is that it's not within Zesty's product. So modules install schema, they install settings, they can install like redirects. Modules are things that get installed directly into the actual instance. Apps are actually applications that are installed into the Zesty Manager per an instance, and we'll show that off. Extensions are things that interact with Zesty outside of the Zesty ecosystem. So those are going to be the 3 things that we have inside the marketplace. Today we're going to show off 2 apps and 1 extension as a teaser. So let's get into it. First place is that we have the marketplace. This is going to be launching on the Zestio website, and how it works is that you'll be able to search for an instance here, and whatever instance you select is going to be the instance which you install an application on. So we'll just run through what that process looks like. Select my instance. So you select an instance, and then once the instance is selected, you'll see the one you're looking at. It'll know if you're logged in. And then if we were to go to Google Analytics, for example, this is just clicking this hot link, all these items will be searchable. So Google Analytics, it shows that the app is installed. So for this particular site, if I was to go to, I have get access to all sites because of my staff access, but if I was to pick another site like PW, let's see, let's just select this one. It'll show that it's not installed. So I'm not going to install this app here, but this would be the process. You click install, it gives you a prompt. It's that easy. And to uninstall, you go to the, let's see, to uninstall there is an apps link. I don't know if it's available, hence why this is a beta, but let's just check over here to see if it's in that. So we'll go back to where we were. We'll go to apps. And it would be my apps. So just to show examples, there's different views to search through apps. And the cool part about apps is anybody can submit an app and develop it, and it can be approved. You can also build custom apps. So if you have a particular, I don't know, if you're building lots of sites for somebody and you want a custom interface, you can do that within Zesty as well. So this is the interface. It shows the apps are installed right now. It's pretty abstract. We'll improve this so you can see the name of the app, but this is how you delete an item from the instance you're working on. So there's this like install interface. So that's the gist of the marketplace, is that the marketplace is going to have those 3 types, which is apps, modules, and extensions. And from the marketplace, you can install right into your instance, and then there's also an interface to delete that. We are pushing the Zestio website. We're improving the accounts interface now, so you're going to see updates to the accounts interface that'll be more integrated into this whole experience that we're showing off now. All right, so let's show off the first app that we're going to show off is going to be the Google Analytics app, and we'll show it to you on our Zesty website here. So what happens is, say I go in content, the apps get installed directly into the Zesty bar over here, and you click that and it kickfires the app. So this app was installed through the marketplace, and this is an integration to Google Analytics, and this pretty much is a dashboard. By default, I think it shows the last 7 days or 30 days, excuse me, last 30 days, and just show, it's just like a quick, you don't have to log into Google Analytics, you get a nice output of what's happening between social, inbound, and just page view traffic. And then there's a date select over here, so I can go last 7 days, and it'll show that. Or I could do a custom range too and select the range I want to view over here. The view will show here. So also in this, one of the things we changed, the original Google Apps installation would assume that the domain you had associated with the instance was within Google. Now it's not, so now you can actually change your domain real time. So this is reading Google, so there's an authentication process with the Google that I'm not showing. And then you can actually look at and select the domain you want to associate the instance with. So, and I can like change that real time to see the data. Originally in Zesty, we would make an assumption that the domain we were looking at was there. Sometimes you don't even register your domain. This matters because if you're working headlessly and the domain's not even in Zesty, it's kind of, this is why we added this change, so you can swap out the domain. I know that was an issue for some people for the last Google Analytics, the old Google Analytics integration. So another thing to show off is pages, and this is a more interactive view. You can select any of the metrics you want to compare, like entrances versus bounce. This is really nice for marketers to kind of dig into what's going on. And you can also like cut things down to like an individual page. So I'm just highlighting our pricing page here, and I can just change the different metrics to see what the bounce rate is versus what the dates are and whatnot, which is pretty cool to see. Right now what's coming, there's going to be a change to this where you can search any page, like kind of like how you could search over here. I could search like marketing, and whatever page I get in Zesty would show up in this application. So if I was to, like this is going to load this particular page, but what I'm showing this is that this particular page will be searchable inside of this application, and you're going to be able to contextually look at pages you build in Zesty and pull Google Analytics data just for that page in this Explorer, and you'll be able to look at the different stats and compare the stats. The other thing that's in development right now, coming soon, is what we're calling the Journey tab, and the Journey tab is going to show you the most common paths. We're in development, so that's the current plan, is to show the user paths that users take in the content journey to show like how users are interacting and engaging with your system. So this is coming soon. You'll be able to have access to this in August. If you are already a Zesty consumer, reach out to us and we can get you early access to this particular app. Cool. So the other app that we're going to display is it's like our design, our layout application, and this is it here. So the purpose of this is like it's to be able to do page layout without needing a developer to run that. So this is a interactive drag and drop interface, and we'll just kind of show that off a little bit. So it's currently says component designer. We're still, I think, finalizing the name. I think the name's going to be page layout. But the idea is that you can lay out a whole page with these different items and search for certain content inside your instance and create an interface off right here. And then you can do like inline columns, poster items, movies and shows, and this will quickly create a mock-up for you. And then going over to see the preview is not beautiful. There's no CSS applied, but it's laying out left and right columns and whatnot. So this is something that when you implement it, the developer will probably launch with some sort of base CSS here, but this is something that could be applied and attached to for headless React components. So we have a library in React that actually can access this and automatically output headlessly right against the custom components you make for your business. And that's called the React Auto Layout. When we'll do another session on this particularly and show some of that, but just showing off the interface here. So how it works is that each content model has a layout associated with it, and you can change the model you're accessing here. And like, so I could pick like homepage, for example, which I don't think has a layout yet. And then if I was to pick homepage, I could just start building a layout here, right? And building out what my homepage looks like. Let's see, homepage. Everything is set up to save and publish. So that's the same concept in Zesty, that items can be saved and items can be published. So I just saved that using Control S, and it's showing this preview, which is just a couple titles. And what's cool is that I'm pulling out information from other places. But let's see if I can just pull out an image over here in the right. So let's move this one here, and let's just find something that has an image. Image still for cast page. Let's see if this ends up showing. So Command S. And then you can see this change here. So that's loading that image. And you can start to see like you're able to control the layout. We show the JSON output of this too. So this is what's consumed headlessly. We have a React package to consume this, so you don't have to worry about reading it. We'll automatically read it, and you can apply your components to it. Super cool. And we also show if you're working in Parsley, this works with Parsley as well, and outputs in Parsley. And we do give custom style names too, so that way you can style this using Parsley if you're developing in Parsley, or you can develop it with React or Vue. I got a question from Ben Johnson. It says, do these component designer elements get loaded within the content area of the loader view? So the way that the component designer loads, it's a single Parsley call, and you would just say, I can actually show, let me show the code. Movies and shows. This is the example, Ben. So all that's needed is you say this dot auto layout and type the word auto. It's totally fine. This stream, Ben, you missed the first 15 minutes, totally okay. This stream will be recorded and stored on YouTube, so you can rewatch it when the stream is over, and once it processes, it usually takes like 10 or 15 minutes to process it. So yeah, if you're using Parsley, what's used to process this layout is going to be this dot auto layout. It's very simple, one-liner, so you can just incorporate it inside of your Parsley view. Super nice. And then let's go back to it. So just talk about, so this is V1, and another thing that's cool, there's an undo state currently being developed. This is definitely in I call it an alpha stage. It will be going to beta soon. It is usable. We are using it in some production sites on our own regard, and it's going to start being implemented by some customers as well. This is definitely alpha, so we're going to be pushing this thing a lot. We have a dedicated resource to this particular feature, and we're really going to be pushing it, integrating it deeper into Zesty. And like but what we're working on now is making sure that like ordering, like how you can order like this, that there's no bugs in the base system, is that you can move things around, order them, delete things, remove it. There will be an undo history, so you'll be able to go back in history and forward in history. That way, since this is a design tool, it's kind of like expected that we'll have some of the features that say like a Photoshop or an Illustrator has. And these different, being able to like toggle sidebar, like making this thing a full-blown application that runs inside of your app, has a file bar, and we'll just keep pushing that. Again, publish states, save states, versions, all that's there. What it does behind the scenes, which is super cool, is it actually generates an HTML file here and a JSON file here. So you can actually see the files in your code. So what this is doing is this whole entire application, like any app built in Zesty, built against the API, and it's going to just use the Zesty API to build the experience. So this whole entire experience that we have here showing is this whole entire custom experience, but it's building itself upon our API. So anybody who is going to be building a custom app has access to do exactly what we did here. We have client-side API wrappers, we have server-side API wrappers, so that way you can build custom functionality that may interact with something external behind the scenes. So we'll continue to give you updates on this one. We'll do individual sessions on this particular feature, as I know it's going to be a hot topic, and showing how it works headlessly with React is super cool because you can apply custom whole built components that have their own logic built into them to build out these pages, which is super cool. So that is that particular one. So those are two apps. Again, they get installed in the sidebar from the marketplace. So the third one I want to show is an extension, and it's literally a Google extension. So you can install it through Google. You can see I have it up here, and I'm going to show our website off. So we're looking at our website homepage. Notice I'm previewing it in my stage preview URL. And from here, I can click this button, and it's going to hot load what we call Live Editor directly into the page. And then this is still, again, it's working and functional. I would put this in the same state as the layout tool, is that it's definitely in like this alpha beta state. So right now it shows this little Zesty logo glowing in the bottom left. I click that and it opens up what we're calling the live editor. So there's a whole bunch of tools in here. It's more than live editing. You can edit the page, but you also can look at SEO information, code, the health of the page, and you can navigate through every page of the website that's registered in Zesty. So we'll just show off what this looks like. I click edit now. So I'm now in edit mode, and if you notice over here, I can hover over things that are editable on the page. And if you notice, things that are not editable are not highlightable. So like this particular one comes in from an external source, I can't highlight it, but this one I can. And if I click edit here, it pops up a WYSIWYG, and I could say like, add an exclamation mark there, hit confirm, and it's going to reload, and you can see that happening right there. So I don't want to do that because the marketing team will be upset with me, so I'm just going to delete that change, hit confirm. And what this is doing is it's cutting a version for you in real time, just like you would be working through the Zesty manager. How do I get to the Zesty manager? Here's another thing. So the live editor isn't just about editing the text, it's about being contextual of what you're looking at. So if I was to want to go into Zesty, this edit button is going to be contextual to the page I'm looking at, so I can click that and load, and it's going to load right to where I need to go, which is very useful. So if you're not comfortable working in the editor, or the editor just isn't enough, you can just click and open up the page you're looking at. Same thing if you're developing, you want to change the schema, I can just load right into the schema of this page. I don't have to find where it is in Zesty. I'm going to use this tool is almost like a navigator / editor that helps guide you through the website you built to work behind the scenes in Zesty. So this is one particular view of it, and this one we're calling edit, hence the name live editor. This is the primary view. So if you want to look at the SEO of the page, it's as simple as clicking SEO, and you can see that it loads an editable meta title and description, keywords, which we're not supposed to use keywords, but we still have them. Maybe one day Google will bring them back. We'll see. But yeah, you can edit your meta here. So this is SEO. What's nice too is if I want to edit this in the CMS, I click this button over here, and if I'm not comfortable working over here, I can go to the CMS and see more contextual information, and this loaded up my SEO and meta page for the page I'm looking at, which right now is my home page. Super cool. So again, it's just helping you navigate through your Zesty experience as well. Hi Jax, what's going on, honey? So what else is cool about SEO is we are putting together this DOM report, and it's actually counting the number of H tags. So there's 2 H1 tags, there's 2 H4, etc. How many P tags, links, how many words are on page, how many characters. So this is just like a quick little thing to read the whole entire page to tell you what's going on. You can also edit specifically if you have meta tags built on page. We call them head tags in Zesty, but if there's global head tags, you can see what they are, and you can edit them or create them. So if I wanted to edit a meta tag that's specific to this page, I can. If I want to add a custom head tag for this page, I can. Um, and if I want to see what my global head tags are, I can also see that and edit those. Then down below, we show an output of what the head would look like figuratively. If you're a developer, not something you need to know. I'll come back. I got a question in chat I'll come back to after I explain this. But this will just give the marketer an idea of what the head looks like. I mean, if you're a developer, of course, you could like view source like this and look at it, or use the inspector to see it. But that's it, just showing shortcuts. Yeah, thank you. So I got two comments from chat, from Ben Johnson, and says, are there any sync user locks to keep two people from cutting versions at the top of each other? The In the live editor, currently there's not. I think we probably could access the lock that we have in manager. That's a really good question, because right now we have a lock in manager where if you go to edit a page, it will say this person's using this page. You can kick them out or choose to not edit it. That's currently not built in the live editor. I think it's a good concern to bring up. So if there's any Zesty people in chat, can you throw an issue on the live editor repo? Live editor is a public repository. Let's show that off. Actually, we'll do it now. I'll show an example. So Zesty GitHub is a super rich resource for all the things we're building. Live editor, all the new stuff we're doing is all open source, so you can actually look at the code, edit it. You could contribute to it if you want. We have project owners inside of Zesty for these. Live editor and the page layout or content composer are two things that we have dedicated resources to, so they're going to continue to be improved. This is the live editor. It actually shows the Google, where you can install it through Google. But I'm going to fire up an issue because I think it's a good point, is that I'm just going to literally copy right from chat. And this will be like, editing locks to prevent overwriting. So in Zesty, there's never overwriting, but you could cut a version and someone else could cut a version, and they would then not be synced up with each other. So you never could overwrite, so you'd never technically lose data, but it could happen where somebody published something and you were in an older state, and then you save and publish something, and it would erase the state they changed. And I'll just say this, and then I'll also make a note of, can we content lock from manager? And thanks for that question comment. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and assign this to somebody, and we'll leave that. So which cool is that each one of these apps has a specific repo that you can engage with. All right, so let's get back to the preview of the application. The second one said SEO stuff is very nice there. Thank you. We're excited about it. I just think the more we can do for you with this live editor, the better. And it's fun, honestly. It's like really nice to have access to this type of information. And live editor is just wow. Yeah, love it. I think it's going to be a huge change, like, because some Zesty sites can get so large. Like our marketing site is huge, and we have some sites that have tens of thousands of pieces of content, some that have plus 100,000 pieces of content. It just becomes hard. Like you feel blind because it's so big, and then the Zesty manager becomes so big that we want this tool to be able to let you view your site and be able to get back and forth into Zesty is the goal, as well as cut down time for production time. All right, so the next tab we have in here is Code Helper. This is for the developers. This also works locally, so if you're building a Next.js locally, you can actually run this tool locally. You don't have to be logged into Zesty. You can work in your local Next.js site to see this. But all this is, it shows the Parsley reference, and you can copy it to clipboard. It shows JSX if you're working in React, and this thing is it's beta. It still needs to be designed and improved, so you got to side scroll for now. And it shows the Vue output. So it shows for the Vue.js integrations for Nuxt, for React and Next.js integrations for JSX, and for Parsley, we have the outputs here. And it shows the reference name and also the type, which is useful. So it's showing you the actual type from Zesty. So you know what you're working with. So if you're going to run an output, if you need to do inner HTML, or if you need to modify something or make it rich text, or handle an image specifically, it's showing you the type you're working with. And we also have these quick little docs to jump in the Zesty org for anything relative. Health. Health is kind of an empty tab right now, but we'll show you the idea is that there is some use. So I can do like W3C validator. I can hot click this, and this is automatically looks like they think I'm a hacker here. But yeah, they're checking my browser. But what this does is it loads, quick loads to get the validators running if you do use WC3 validator for that page. Same thing for CSS. Google Lighthouse, so you can run speed scores against it, and Section 508 compliance, which doesn't have a validator, is something we're going to be looking into, but it just links you out to learn a little bit more about what Section 508 compliance is. Where am I? Okay, and then next tab is Navigator. So to me, this is my favorite tab. We have a huge website. So we have 474 pages on our website, and that's just in Zesty, right? Our website shows a bunch of stuff. But if I want to get to a particular page, I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is through the marketing navigation, right? Marketing navigation is built to show the things that matter. But if I wanted to get to like, I don't know, our terms and conditions, for example, like, it looks like clicking this overrided that. Terms and conditions, right? If I want to get here, boom, it gets me right there, and I don't have to hunt for it. So it gets me right to where I need to go. I could fire this up, and I could just start editing right here. If I don't want to edit through the live editor, I can click, open up, edit it right in Zesty, and I didn't have to spend 5 minutes trying to find out where it was. So this is super super cool. I think this is the original name of this particular project was called Navigator, and it's because you can just find what you need so quickly without having to hunt for it. And yeah, my microphone shut off there. So let me just make sure. Yeah, you still hear me. Cool. So without having to hunt for it, you can get to where you need to go. It's a huge thing. Outside of that, so we have Navigator, Health, Code Helper. We also have something we call JSON. So this is for the headless people out there. You can actually search through the JSON object to find what you need. This page doesn't have a lot of content. It's really just a couple items. Let's look at the home page to show this off. A dead link checker. That's something we have talked about, Ben. We used to have one built in the Zesty, but this is the ideal tool. But I think it would probably live under SEO. What it would do is it scan the DOM, the document object, and search for links and check if those are 200 or 404 responses. So that is something actually being discussed in the works, Ben. All right, so what I wanted to show off was the JSON. Headless people, yeah, that's a good point. It's really, I just got a comment in the chat saying headless people. It's kind of it's a very funny way to think about it. For everybody who doesn't have a head out there. All right, so this is the JSON object, and I can search, say, like security or something like that, and I can search through my JSON object to return, or I should be able to, where security lives. So it shows all of the particular objects on this page and finding what is the name of the item that has the word security in it, which is useful. So like if you're trying to hunt, like, oh man, where was that field? What was that? Had that content? I need the name, its main description, right? So then when I'm programming, I know I can say this dot main description, or if I'm in JSX, I could say content dot main description, and that's how I access it. So yeah, Live Editor is the current name. That's what we're going with for this tool, but it does way more than just editing. From navigation to SEO to checking site health to helping with programming. That's what we're working with. So those are the 3 apps that are going to be launching. We don't have the exact date, but we're launching early August for the marketplace, so you'll be able to install the new apps, and There's been improvements to the apps, like the Google Analytics app, for example. The old one used to make assumptions and change your settings. This one doesn't. I think some of those in the crowd will be appreciative to hear that. Um, and we're really excited. And that's just the beginning, right? So what we plan, we have a lot of ideas for apps coming out of the pipeline. Not going to shed any concepts right now, but just know like this is the beginning. We're going to be releasing apps. The apps we're releasing right now, the layout design tool and the Google Analytics app, they're free, so you can just install them right into any of your instances that are live. So thank you for tuning in today. Really excited, and thank you for people in the chat. Love seeing the comments in chat. Makes me feel like I'm not talking to a screen. So love the comments. Keep them coming. And thanks a lot. Make sure you like and subscribe so you get notifications from YouTube when we do stream and send you out information. And take care, everybody. Have a good day.